I am a youth, and I have a good life. Or that's what I believe. Let's take a look. I love listening to good music. I go frequently out with friends, and we love trying new things. Although, it doesn't always turn out good. Is that why I finished my ex? No, it can't be. I told myself I hated playing online, but there's just this one level I cannot pass. And outside of that, I should be maybe studying or working. But if I fail, is it possible that I can triumph? Should I have a purpose? Right? Could I be a youth that's successful? Welcome to the third topic of the Successful Youth series presented by the Rescue Project. I'm your host and director of the Rescue Project, lecturer Pablo Hunger, speaking to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States. We are here once again to share a topic of great importance for every young person's life, especially their relationship with their friends. Today's topic is entitled The Blessing and Curse of Friendships. From a very young age, children have their friends. Yet it's during the years of youth that strong bonds of friendship are formed. We are happy to share our joys with friends, to spend time together with friends, to do activities with friends, to go out with friends, to eat out with friends, to enjoy recreational activities with friends, and so many other activities that we like to do with friends. Friends are an important part of your life and have a huge influence on your development. How many young people have changed careers just to be with their friends, or have taken important decisions based on their friends' advice? Friends are the people who form your identity as a young person. When you were a child, it was your parents who helped you in your development of your identity. But the truth is that when you're young, friends become even more influential than even our own parents. I found a very interesting saying that states, to sharpen iron, use a lime. To be a person, have a friend. In an ancient book called Ecclesiastes, one of the apocryphal books, it says, finding a faithful friend is like finding a treasure or like finding a safe haven. A faithful friend is priceless. His worth is not measured by money. But the truth is that many young people have also been ruined by the bad influences of their friends. There are cases of siblings who grew up in the same household. One of them obtained a good profession, and the other one ended up in prison because of the bad influences his friends had on him, diverting him from the good principles he had learned as a child at home. Another wise saying goes, show me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. This is what Vladimir Lenin said. This means, my dear young people, that your friends can be a blessing to you, leading you to success, or a curse that leads you to failure. Let's talk a little bit about friendships. What is friendship? The Urban Web Dictionary defines a friendship as when you love someone with every ounce of your being and genuinely want them to be happy, even if it means sacrificing something of yourself to make them happy. This is the definition according to the Webster Dictionary. But the Royal Spanish Academy defines friendship as a personal, pure, and disinterested affection that is shared with another person, who is encouraged and strengthened by this treatment. According to these definitions, we see that friendships have to do with happiness. Seeking happiness for those around you also makes you happy. Every human being wants to be happy. In this stage of life, where you seek your independence, your identity, and your happiness, friendship has a hold on an important place. How is a friendship formed? What brings people together as friends? There are several things that bring two people together as friends. Let's take a look at some of them. For example, common interest. Our hobbies or recreational activities unite us with one another that also aim for that common goal. thus creating friendships. We are friends when we play games, when we exercise, when we listen to music, and other things. Or history. If we had similar experiences that unite us in friendship, that helps us to move forward. We are perhaps born in the same country, with the same culture, or we have had the same teacher, or common values. In certain circumstances of life, we make decisions concerning our values, and these unite us to strengthen ourselves with those of similar viewpoints. Or we are in equality. We are classmates or co-workers, and this makes us unite in friendship. The famous philosopher Aristotle mentioned that there are 3 types of friendships. 1. A useful friendship. They exist between you and someone who is useful to you in some way. For example, maybe you're friendly with your coworkers, or primarily because he helps you fix the printer when it gets stuck. Or you might be friendly with your neighbor because she waters your lonely little cactus plants when you're on vacation, and you take care of her Great Dane when she's out. These can be called friends out of interest. Perhaps it's worth mentioning also that friends increase with riches, but with the poor, even his friends abandon him. The second is pleasurable friendships. Aristotle says pleasurable friendships. They exist between you and those whose company you enjoy. Often these are activities with partners, people who you like to do football with or take long bike rides with. And third, we see friendships of goodwill. They are based on mutual respect and admiration. These friendships take longer to build than the other types, but they are also more powerful and lasting. Many times, they begin during childhood, adolescence, or even at university, but sometimes they're also formed after that. Very interesting, this analysis Aristotle made. We do actually approach people without fully knowing them and call everyone friends, even though we're not so close to everyone. The Book of Books, the Holy Bible, gives us very important advice on friendship. Pay close attention to these wise tips. For example, in Proverbs 22 verses 24 to 25, the New Living Bible version, it says, "Don't befriend angry people or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul." This is why the Apostle Paul also said in the following in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33, "Bad company corrupts good character." Whether you like it or not, the truth is that your friends will always have influences and change you, especially during your younger years. You have the power to change others too, with your good influences. I have something here. I have a piece of paper, and I want to show you something. If I now write in this paper the word friend, I'm writing here the word friend. Let's decorate it a little bit more with some fibers. With some of these crayons. Okay, there you can see the word friend. And if this friend, you put him close to your heart, look what happens to your friend. That's also the influences we get from our friend. Wow, they left a mark in my life. The same thing happens with your friends. When you get close to them and open your heart to them, look what they leave on you. Maybe it's a stain that's a positive stain, but maybe it's also been a bad influence that has affected your life. We also find a very firm advice in 1 Corinthians 5:11. "You are not to associate with anyone who claims to be a believer, yet indulges in sexual sin, or is greedy, or worships idols, or is abusive, or is a drunkard, or cheats people. Don't even eat with such people. You've already seen, I'm here now marked my heart by the influences of my friends. From this we determine that although some will call us friends, not everyone is a good friend. Not all friends will lead us to success. Thus, if I want to progress in my future, then I must select my friends wisely. The biblical advice said not to even eat with such people. It also says in Books of Books, in Proverbs 18 verse 24, there are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother. From this we can learn that we must truly see who are our friends. I must look for a friend who is closer than a brother, and who really desires my happiness. Another proverb in wise Solomon says the following, Proverbs 13 verse 20, walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with the fool and get in trouble. If we want to avoid harm and difficulties in our lives, then we must turn away from fools. And who is a fool? It is a person who insists on one's own mistakes or clings to wrong ideas and positions, thereby demonstrating little intelligence. Some talk about toxic people because they affect those around them. Have you ever had a coworker who has criticized you behind your back simply because they were jealous? Or supposed friend who lied to you for their personal benefit without even caring about how it will affect you? Let's mention some of these toxic people who say they're your friends when they really aren't. They make you lose your grip or making you angry. Their presence has a strong negative impact on your self-esteem. They blame you when they're to blame. You feel fear and discomfort when you have to be with them. You can't be relaxed and calm in their presence. You're defensive when they become closer. Toxic people are bad friends, or people who are selfish. So these people are those who want to share anything with us. But when something interests them, they are kind to us. Some people also sooner or later will show their true personality. Or they're envious. And these people always want what someone else has, but they don't. And they will therefore never be happy that things are going well for others. Envy creates resentment towards the other people around them. Or manipulators. These people have the facility to convince you even in things that concern you, and ultimately take you on the path they want, without drawbacks and without caring about the negative consequences that a situation may hold for you. Manipulators detect the weaknesses of others, and they do not stop until they get what they want. They are insatiable and always want to be in control. Or abusers. So many people are involved in bullying or mobbing. They do not tolerate anything or anyone who could be a challenge. And through mistreatment or mockery, they alienate from the group. They rejoice in the suffering of others. Just stay away from these people because they usually hide much hatred inside. Or the intolerance. Instead of appreciating and learning from people who are different from them, people who judge others look at other individuals with contempt. It's better to stay away from such people, as they are not positive and are full of prejudice. Or the authoritarians. These type of individuals have undemocratic behaviors and intend to exert control over the people around them, based on the idea that they are the ones who can best decide what is good and what is bad. They do not listen to those around them because they think that the only valid criterion is their own, and they thus want everyone to obey them. There are people, if your friends don't listen to you and doesn't appreciate your ideas, then you better walk away from them. Or there are sociopaths. These are people who do not show empathy for others or remorse for their actions. Although they have a normal temperament, they have not acquired a series of social skills due to the intelligent and incompetent parenting by their family, which in many cases involves a situation of violence. Or they're neurotic. The neurotic person has a problem with emotional instability. They do not tolerate the small frustrations and setbacks that interaction with others naturally brings. Emotional instability has its origin in low self-esteem and irrational beliefs that are part of the mental layout of the person. These leads them to become perfectionists that base their happiness on external factors. We've seen that the problems of toxic friends that may affect our future, but that doesn't mean that we can't find good friends. Friendships are a great blessing. The wise Solomon himself wrote in Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone with when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. From this, we can conclude that the friends can help us overcome our problems. A true friend will not lead to danger, but on the contrary will show me the dangers and help me move on. But how do we find a good friend? Let's take a look at some characteristics of good friends. First, they listen to you. How many times have we needed to talk to a friend to tell them what is happening to us and just vent? A real friend will listen to you, understand you, and even advise you on what they would do in your place. They will never judge you or what you tell them. You can thus talk to them with total freedom. When you have a friend where you're scared to even talk about certain things because you know they will criticize or judge you for it, then you should calmly consider if that is a good friendship or not. Give your constructive criticism. When you have a true friend, they will criticize some things so that you may improve in the things they think you can do better in. If you agree with the criticism or not is your decision, but it is said a friend criticizes you in the face and defends your back. This criticism, however, will always be constructive and given out of affection. If on the other hand a friend criticizes absolutely everything you do or say in a way that hurts you, then think about the friendship, because maybe it's a toxic friend. A good friend doesn't walk away from you after an argument. Having a good friend doesn't mean that two of you always have to agree on everything. No. Therefore, discussions may arise, which are nothing more than an attempt to find a compromise. And a true friend will argue with you when it's necessary, but afterwards, they will continue being that good friend like before. In the event that the friend walks away from you because you don't agree with their opinion, then be very careful, because that could be a way of them trying to manipulate you. And this does not make them a true friend. Another thing is that he cares about you at all times. This point, of course, doesn't mean that they will be worried about you 24/7. It means that your friend will care about you, especially when you're not doing fine. In short, they will be with you both in good times and in bad times. When friends only call you when they need something from you, they fall into self-interested friendship or selfish category. A good friend will also rejoice in their success. True friends rejoice in your success. They want what's best for you. And if you succeed in whatever way, they will rejoice in a sincere way. For it will be as if it had happened to themselves. in the same way, if something not too good happens to you, they will also feel it very deeply. A good friend is also sincere. A true friend does not hide what he thinks of you, nor what he feels for you, nor does he have any bending. Sincerity is a priority. This means that you can trust him or her, and you will have no doubt when he or she tells you something. Honesty requires that we speak openly from the heart and incorporate objectivity into our words. A good friend accepts you as you are. This is always supposed to be the case. Although, as I have said before, your friend may acknowledge that there are some things that you must change, but they will also seek your good in regards to this. Either way, a true friend will tell you things that tact and affection, but will also respect the fact that you do not agree with his or her opinion, and do not want to change anything. Any breach of trust, regardless of perceived magnitude, can ruin a friendship. They're also loyal. We need friends who don't reveal our secrets to others, who spread rumors about us, or allow others to criticize us. A true friend will be with you in the good times and will also accompany you in the difficult times. Another wise saying about friendship says, "A friend is not the one who wipes away your tears, but the one who prevents you from shedding a single one in the first place." Our friends will do the impossible to make our lives fuller and happier. The Holy Book also says in the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his light is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in this season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doth shall prosper." If you're looking for a friend who fears God and respects his holy law, you'll be like a tree planted on the bank of a river. And even if its difficult times come, the tree will always stay green. You need these kinds of friends, dear youth. Friends who will be a blessing for your life, and who will make you a successful young man or woman. That's how they are, the good and bad friends. Be careful of the friends that mark your life, as we have said. What type of friends do you want in your life? Now we come to a time to pause and reflect on the kinds of friends we have. Where are your friends taking you? What marks are they putting in your life? If your friends invite you to go to places where vices and immorality are encouraged, I must tell you that these are not good friends. You must distance yourself from them if you want to be a successful young man. If your friends encourage you to listen to music that leads you to aggression, to reject your parents, to immorality, fantasies, or to rebellion, these are not good friends. You must distance yourself from these friends and from such music. If your friends are involved in vices and encourage you to drink alcohol or use other drugs, they are not good friends, because they are motivating you to take up habits that destroy your health and therefore are also your future. If your friends laugh at others or bully others or separate yourself from those friends because they are not good friends. If you have friends who laugh at your Christian values with whom you don't have the courage to share your faith, you better distance yourself from such a friend, because they're not good friends. If you have friends who laugh at the wise advice of the book of books, I can safely tell you that they are not good friends, and they are toxic friends. Turn away from these friends because they will affect your life, and instead of being a blessing, they are a curse for your future. If you want to be a successful young man, you must select your friends very wisely. Look for friends who share your morals, who do not dishonor God or His holy word. Dear young man, I know that sometimes it's difficult to part with friends. I remember that also I had many friends as youth, and some of them were toxic friends. They were affecting my development as a young man. I remember the day I had to make a decision to say no to a friend's invitation because it was affecting my development. And not only this, but I had to distance myself from such a friend who, although I appreciated him, was actually influencing me towards evil. Dear young man, I invite you to make a decision to select your friends wisely today. If you know that you have a friend who's affecting your development, it is better to distance yourself from him or her. On the contrary, if you know that there is a person who has firm principles, who has a healthy life, who fears God, and who lives a life of service for his fellow man, look for such a friend. I don't want to overlook a special friend whose friendship you don't want to miss out on. There was someone who looks for you sincerely, who is not a toxic friend, but on the contrary wants to advise you, help you, and who always wants to be your friend. In John 15 verse 13, the book of books says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend." This special friend, whose friendship you should not miss out, is on Jesus. Although you cannot see him, he lives. He has given his life for you, to give you a chance to have many mistakes you have had in your life forgiven. He does not accuse you, but wants to guide you and help you to get away from evil and be a successful young man. He is not only interested in your current happiness, but also in your eternal happiness. The disciple of love, John, wrote the following, 1 John 4 verses 9 to 10. "And this was manifested the love of God towards us, because that God sent his only begotten Son into the world that he might live through him. Herein is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us, and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins." Do not miss the opportunity to accept this friend who wants to see you happy. Before I say goodbye, I would like to say goodbye to those young people who have reconsidered that they need to make a change in their friends. God can help you distance yourself from toxic friends and seek out real friends. Friends who really want your true happiness. Open your heart, especially to your friend Jesus. Please join me in bowing your head now where you are, because I want to pray for you. Our Father which art in heaven, Lord, we come in front of you in this moment after having analyzed these beautiful reflections on friendship. There are friends that are blessings and friends that are curse. And we ask you now, Lord, I want to ask you now for the youth, that you may help them in the selection of friends, that you may open their minds, that they can see clearly what other friends that are destroying them, and take firm steps to change their life course and to be youth for excellence. And they can be a help in their life, friends that are going to be a help in their life. Thank you, Lord, for the love you have for us, and help us to look for you as our friend. Lord, take our heart and be you, our best friend. Guide us, give us advice. And thank you for giving us love and giving your life on the cross in Calvary. We ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. In our next topic, we will talk about a partner for life. Practical tips for one of the most important decisions of our life, who we will spend the rest of our lives with. We will talk about the decision in regards to the choice of our spouse. Don't miss our next topic. God bless you.